Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Jenny Montgomery, and I am so excited for my first guest today, Dove and Grammy Award-winning singer David Phelps. I first met David about 20 years ago when he was performing in Aiken during the heyday of his first big hit, End of the Beginning, or as my daughter always said, the airplane song. And you may know him from his many years performing around the world with the Gaither Vocal Band, or you may recognize him from his PBS specials. David Phelps' wide tenor vocal range has wowed audiences from the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville to the Sydney Opera House in Australia. His recent tour, Lift Your Voice, which brought him to Augusta in October, is an evening of powerful music from pop to Broadway to inspirational genres. David Phelps is with us in the studio today. And David, what a schedule you have. I mean, you wrap up Lift Your Voice tour and then you begin One Wintry Night.
That's right. That's right. Every year we turn off the concert engine for one and then gear up for Christmas, and it is all Christmas for a month.
Wow.
Yeah, we start the weekend after Thanksgiving and then just go all the way to this year. Our last one's on the 21st.
Really close to Christmas. Yeah. And I know people look forward to that so much.
Well, I hope so. We do. You know, that's the reason we're still out doing it, is because people want to hear it. So we'll be doing it as long as they want to. So.
Well, David, you've been in this business for decades, and I want to go back a little bit to just how you started singing as a teenager. You told me once, years ago when I met you, that your family sang all the time. You were just a big musical family, even though your father was an accountant.
Yes.
He still was very musical. And you trained in high school when other people were doing probably fun stuff. You were trying to sing, and you were going anywhere you'd get an invitation, you would go.
Absolutely.
Right.
You remember all that so well. That's just
so well. It's great because then you went to Baylor and you trained. You trained in vocal performance, music and vocal performance.
Vocal.
Right.
Yes.
And you said one time, and I think this is so interesting. You knew that Christian music was going to be your calling. Yeah. You really felt like that's what you were supposed to do. And you said once that your path was littered with people who became so important in your journey. Talk to me about that.
The mentors that were laid in my pathway, I still look at that today and think, only God could have ordained that. First of all, my mom is a great musician, classical soprano, plays piano, and my early training from the time I could speak, we were singing, and she was always helping with that. But then my minister of music, and growing up in our church, had done some performance side of stuff in contemporary Christian work, and he really, to have that, I mean, he would, I haven't told you this probably, but he would say, well, what are you going to say before the song? And he'd go, come up after school and write down what you're going to say. And I would write it down. He'd crumple it up and say, no, don't do that. He'd throw it away. And it really helped me hone my ability to communicate.
Yeah, he was editing you.
Yes, he was. And to have that, I mean, so many people don't have that. My high school choir director, who was this great classical tenor, he was just amazing. And then I started voice lessons in high school, and every voice teacher just really helped me along my way, Very, very much so.
I think sometimes we have to get farther along in our journey to see the hand of God with us all along.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. Well, you ended up catching the eye of Bill Gaither. And so many people know about the Bill Gaither homecomings, Bill and Gloria Gaither, and all the music that they have written and performed over the years, and you sing in your churches. You've traveled the world as part of that whole Gaither family and the vocal band. You've been with them a couple of times, right?
Yes. The last time I left in 2017 and been on my own since then, but I just actually did another video with them a couple of weeks ago, and so it was good to touch base with all those people. But yeah, I grew up dreaming. You don't know of Christian music and not know of Bill and Gloria Gaither, and even beyond that, they were ASCAP's songwriters of the century, last century, so in all genres. So they're pretty amazing. It's amazing talent. And I always dreamed about being a part of that and working with them, and to get that opportunity was just like, wow, this has just opened up here. And so I was a student, just learned as much as I could.
Isn't that so important just to be a sponge?
Always.
But
always.
if you go into something thinking you know everything,
right.
You're never gonna grow.
It's always proven to me that I don't know everything when I do
The
that.
older I get, I feel the less I know. Yeah, I get that. So talk to me about your writing process. I want to go back to the song "End of the Beginning," which was such a big song in Christian music. How many years ago? I mean, 25 years ago? 25 years ago?
25 years ago, yeah, right.
You said that the hook had been in your book for years. You knew you had something, but you just had to wait for the right inspiration to make it work. And it actually came to you when you were in an airport, kind of at the gate, looking at people and wondering what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, what brought them to this place?
Yeah.
What's their story? At some point you start to realize everybody has their own story, and they've come from all these places, and here we've converged, and what is all this about? And so I was thinking that my mind was a little tired from the weekend that I was on, and just contemplating all that. And I had it in my hook book that I call it. Every writer I know has a hook book where we write down little ideas, and hopefully it's a seed
materialize
that grows,
right?
And so I tried to write the song many times before, probably about 3 times before, but it was always negative, the end of the beginning.
Right.
And I didn't want it to be that. I wanted it to be something else. And so when I got home, I saw that hook, and I just sat down on the piano and wrote the song in 30 minutes. And it was one of those things I ended, and I thought, will anybody get this? Is this just for me, Is this one of those moments just for me? And I ended up having to really push for it to get on the record, actually. And it ended up to be, of course, a song that I still do today.
Oh, yeah. I bet your audiences would be disappointed if you didn't. Our conversation with David Phelps continues right after this break. I had a wonderful experience when I was listening to some of your videos, and I was so moved by your singing "Bring Him Home." Okay, so that is, that's crossing over into secular music. It is a prayer, of course, Jean Valjean. Do you see yourself as Jean Valjean down the road?
Oh, goodness.
Are you interested in Broadway and doing more?
I have done some.
Yeah.
I actually, last year, Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Wicked,
Yes.
Called me, and he said, hey, I'm doing this production of Children of Eden, which is one of his earlier musicals in Chicago. And so I went out and did that with him, and then we repeated that in the Lincoln Center in New York. And then I got to sing at the Metropolitan Opera House in a concert for his birthday, and that was just an amazing thing. So I have been privileged to kind of step in and out of those worlds, and I've always loved Broadway, and my voice is kind of it fits the way I sing. It kind of fits that, and so I've always kind of done a little bit.
It out.
And Bring Him Home is just beautiful.
Oh, it's such a beautiful song. I'll never forget the first time I heard it in the show in DC, and I cried. Just cried. It was so beautiful. But David just mentioned Stephen Schwartz, and Stephen Schwartz said this about you. I had the great pleasure of working with David Phelps and the exciting experience of actually getting to play for and sing with him on stage at the Metropolitan Opera. Everyone knows what a magnificent vocalist he is, but what an excellent actor, and most importantly, a truly fine human being.
Isn't that sweet?
How nice.
Wow.
How much did you pay him?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
No, isn't that nice to have an accolade like that?
It's just amazing. And, I'm still this kid who dreams about making music and people appreciating it. That kid is inside me, and I hope that it never gets old. And it's not. Every time I get up to make music, I have this chance to communicate an idea, a thought, something from my spirit, an emotion, and hand that to somebody else that can also experience it. And that is, it never gets old.
Do you feel that when you're performing and the response that you get from the audience?
I live for it. I mean, I really do. I mean, that is why I fell in love with doing what I do.
Right.
At some point I realized there's this connection going on here that I didn't think of when I just fell in love with music,
Yeah.
and that really became, what has sustained me in that.
Do you see yourself having any kind of collaborations or singing? You told me a real cute story before about Sandy Patty and how, oh my gosh, we used to sing to Sandy Patty, and now she's in my cell phone. And you grew up to sing and know her. Who do you have out there that you might like to do something with now?
Oh my goodness, there are so many great vocalists out now. The internet has just exploded with amazing vocalists. Yeah. I think Kelly Clarkson is amazing. Okay. I mean, she is just absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know, singing with them would just be wonderful, but my favorite vocalists out right now are probably Kelly Clarkson, and I love listening. Bruno Mars has an amazing voice, just an incredible voice. And he's not with us anymore, but I just have loved Tony Bennett. Yeah, he just has been an inspiration to me to watch and listen to. Yeah.
So wonderful. David, you have a great family. You have 4 kids. You met your wife in college. You're still together decades later. And tell me, let's wrap this up with you telling me about Barn and Bale.
Yeah. Well, we live on an old dairy in Tennessee, and I don't milk cows. And so we converted the historic barn to a concert hall about 15, 16 years ago, and we do barn bash events out there. From that, inside that barn is a store called Barn and Bale. And so Lori curates everything for the store, and it's home goods and just things that we both love and want to share with people. So,
nice.
So yeah, it's become this venture that I didn't ever think about it being.
Just happened. And people go out there for the barn bash.
They do.
Concerts that you do out there.
They do. It's amazing. We have people flying from Australia to go, and Japan, and people all over the world and the country as well just come to be part of that. So it's pretty special.
Fantastic. David, you are known around the world, and it means so much to me that you took the time to come here and talk with us. And I wish you all the success down the road.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.